How are the US markets? We'll start off with the markets first.
Yes, Amit, US markets, the bears are back, Amit. After yesterday's Fed comments, the US markets closed down sharply as Powell commentaries ignited higher rate fears. Now, Powell's key remarks were like, strong economic data suggests that rate hikes likely to be higher than anticipated. History cautions against loosening policy prematurely, and we will stay the course until the job is done. So these were a few comments coming in from Jerome Powell, and these comments clearly indicate that larger rate hikes are expected at the next Fed meeting, which is to be held on the 21st and 22nd of March. Now, on the back of that, Dow Jones Industrial Average shed 574 points. The S&P 500 lost more than 1.5%, and the Nasdaq Composite dropped 1.25% in trade. The bank shares led the losses on concerns that rate hikes will tip the economy into a recession. Now, the mega cap tech stocks also tumbled, falling at least 1% each. So that was a negative handover coming in from the US markets, but the European markets were also not spared. Of course, on the back of the Fed chair comments, the British pound slid 1.3% against the US dollar to $1.186. The FTSE was largely flat but in the red, down 0.1%. DAX was down more than 0.5%, and Stock 600 was down 0.7% in trade. So a rather negative, bearish environment handover coming in from the US and the European markets. Sumit, where is the crude at?
Well, as you were mentioning that steeper rate hikes was a possibility given the Powell's comment. On the back of this, the dollar strengthened and we had seen a sharp fall in the crude oil prices. Brent crude declined by as much as $3 per barrel, but this was not the only reason behind the decline. Along with this, China's weak import data for the month of Jan and Feb also triggered this fall in crude prices. And when it comes to gas, if you see, the US gas prices fell by around 15%, and this was the steepest fall that we have seen in the last 8 months. And currently gas prices, that is the Henry Hub, that is the benchmark gas prices in US, are trading below the $3 per MMBTU mark. Now this fall in gas price was triggered by a forecast of a less cold weather, and which will lead to lower heating demand in the country, because of which we have seen a sharp fall in the gas prices in the US market as well.
Right, and fall coming in for oil and gas as well. Now, moving on, we'll look at the commentary. We'll elaborate on the commentary that Jerome Powell gave yesterday. Now, hawkish commentary from Jerome Powell fueled a sharp sell-off on the Wall Street. Rate hikes are likely to be higher than anticipated, says Powell. Long way to go on getting inflation back down. Road likely to be bumpy, he adds, amid flaring inflation across economies.
Well, social media giant Facebook parent Meta plans a fresh round of layoffs in an attempt to restore profitability. Now, thousands set to go jobless as soon as this week, according to sources. Remember, this comes just 3 months since their previous round of layoffs, where they had cut as many as 11,000 jobs.
And Sri Lankan rupee rallies to record levels, soars the most in over 3 decades. This after the cash-strapped country secured new financing support from China, coupled with the central bank's move to scrap the currency trading ban, boosted optimism over an IMF bailout.
Well, SoftBank founder and chief Masayoshi Son met top Indian startup players on his day-long visit to the national capital. Now, in his first trip to India in more than 4 years, the Son met Paytm's Vijay Shekhar Sharma and the Flipkart chief Kalyan Krishnamurthy.